Is it? Yeah. All right. As most of you guys know, my name's Kevin. I'm not affiliated with any organization. I'm not here to represent anybody else other than God and myself and what I've been through with drugs, alcohol. My story started when I was younger. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. My younger years, I grew up in Mount Airy in the North College Hill area. I grew up with my grandparents and my mother. My biological father, he's an addict. I can remember as far as being around him when I was like 3, 4 years old and being around him and his buddies, like blowing smoke in my face, like let me do whatever I wanted, watching Beavis and Butthead, or you know what I mean? Like stuff that normally if I went home like to my mom, like it wasn't happening. Um, Eventually my mom met somebody that changed her life though, and she got remarried. We ended up going through an adoption process, and he adopted me. I went to Little Flower School, if anybody knows where that's at. It's in Mount Airy, Little Flower. St. Teresa Little Flower, yeah. The big weed. But through there, I had a great upbringing, you know what I mean? I don't come from a bad family, anything like that. All the choices I made in my life stem from everything that I chose to do. Um, it started towards the end, right before when I got into high school. Smoking weed was the first thing I did. I mean, it's usually what everybody always does. Um, but it progressed into high school. When I was a freshman in high school, I was gifted when I was younger with the athletic ability, and I could run a 4.40 freshman year of high school. So I played varsity. I started varsity. I didn't make it on the basketball team because I had a bad attitude and I got kind of lost it during tryouts, but I made it on the baseball team. Freshman year was great, but the type of person I am, the attitude that I have, like I can meet anybody randomly, and I get it from like my grandma and my mom that I'll just strike up a conversation with anybody that I meet. Like I'm not scared to talk to people, and that quality about me throughout my life has got me in a lot of sticky situations, a lot of bad situations, and I would always place myself around older people when I was younger because like I always wanted to fit in or feel like I was, you know what I mean, like a part of like to something that was not the normal for around me. And when I hurt myself sophomore year in football, it was crazy because I played my greatest game too. I broke my other ankle, and all that downtime was what started rolling me getting into the streets more. There was a period when my mom was literally, we were just talking about this the other night. She was dropping me off at school, and I would dip out of school and go do whatever I wanted because I thought that making a couple $100 every day was doing something big. Like I could hustle up a couple $1,000s for the weekend for me and my buddies to go party with. And I thought that that was making something instead of staying focused in school and focusing on my studies. And I could have been playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday for all I know. But um, that set in motion me getting introduced to cocaine. And at first, I was taught to just sell it and make money from it. But eventually, I started to try it and introduced to other new people, met new people, got introduced to other drugs. And it set a like that lifestyle and the fast money to me was just like it was just so addicting. Like that's what I was felt like I was searching for so long, and it was all coming so fast. And then after a couple years into it, and once becoming addicted to all these different substances, now all these problems start to come up, and I'm stealing from family members. Dipping out on the girls I'm going out with, lying to them, telling them that, you know what I mean? Like most of the time I wasn't never cheating on them. I was just going to get high, like, but still like not giving the people I was around my time, including my family, because I wanted to dip out and go do something. Like when I got high by myself, or it was with another person that got high like me. Because when I went and got high, it was extreme. Like, and if we were out, we were doing extreme shit to get it. We were robbing somebody, we were kicking in a door, we were robbing the dope boy. It didn't matter. Whatever it was, we were gonna go get what we wanted to get. Like the people that I grew up with and hang around with, like it was bad. Due to all that and all them stories and everything, I spent a lot of time in places like this, rehabs. Most of my 20s in the Hamilton County Justice Center. I've even went out of state to different rehabs to try to change my life, as far as California, down to Kentucky. And it doesn't matter where you go, you take you with you. Everywhere in life, you're going to take you with you. So until you decide to make that change, nothing's ever going to change in life. You could go, you could go to Australia, but guess what? Eventually, you's going to come out if you don't focus on you every day. It's going to come out eventually, one way or the other. And it's happened so many times. I'm going to pass this around right now. Most of y'all people y'all know who this is. This is Margot. This is, I'm going to get to the story of it, but, due to all the madness and mayhem, I ended up catching a charge. Did 5 years in prison, because of it. So nothing, all the words and cliches, like I hate all them things in the books that they say, but it's all true. Like where you'll end up, or what's going to happen to you, or the what ifs, or if you ain't done it yet, or, oh, I wouldn't do that. Nah, you just ain't done it yet. If you don't stop, that yet will happen. I've seen it happen so many times. I should have brought the other pictures. I've lost a lot of friends to this disease, y'all. So before my accident, I had got clean. I was in a sober living house. I was doing stuff I was supposed to be doing every day. Went to a meeting every day, was helping somebody every day. I had a sponsor. I called people every day. That morning of the accident, we went downtown to a meeting. We went to Skyline like it was just a normal day. And it was a Monday, and it's crazy because today is the 11th, and like that was like the night that it happened. So like for me doing this today, it's like kind of special because I look at dates every month. I mark the dates from November 11th of that night that this happened to us. But we were just sitting there playing cards, and it was over Facebook, like a like and a comment on Facebook of some other girl commented on something at the time, and like it turned into an argument that words got said. Well, oh, I'm going to go get high. Well, if you're going to go get high, I'm going to go get high. And really nobody wanted to go get high, but just the not being able to work it out caused us to go make a decision from two people that were clean, doing great every day. That snap second of that decision right there to say, oh, well, fuck it, because her parents were in Cabo, and literally, I wasn't even supposed to take the overnight that night. I had taken two previous that night, but because of the under impression that I was doing so good and so well, oh no, Kev wouldn't do that. And if the probably thought was, you know what I mean, if he does, oh well, we'll drug test him when he comes back. You know what I mean? Like, not that like the whole previous thing up to it was like, but people are good at making, you know what I mean, situations. If they want something to happen, you're going to do whatever you want to make it happen. And thank God that night I never got a hold of a needle, because on the way there to go get it, I called everybody and their mom offering them, trying to get one, because like when I got high, that's the way I got high. Like I can show you my arms. I have scars and holes that are in my arms from all the dope. I tell people I put more dope in my body, and for some reason, I'm still here, that would kill every living organism and every person on this planet. But for some reason, God still kept me here. This ain't my story, y'all. This is God's story. Because I would not still be here if it was not for him. He kept me alive for a reason, y'all. Um, but we went to her house that night, and it was the smallest line of anything I've did in my entire life. And it's like 10 minutes later, after doing it, I looked at her and I was hoping this wasn't going to happen, but I didn't feel good. And I looked at her and I was like, I don't feel good. We were smoking a cigarette. And the last thing I said to her was, I'm about to go get sick. Like, I love you. And the last thing she said to me was, I hope you feel better. I love you. I went to the bathroom and I got down on my knees and I was throwing up. Well, I guess I was just so gone that I fell straight back. And I was gone, blacked out, y'all, for 13 hours. And when I came back to, and it's crazy, it's a guy that's just died a couple months. He died on Thanksgiving, y'all, from an overdose. And he had called my phone that day like 30 times because we were supposed to go do a job. And when I came to, the picture that's getting passed around, Margot, she was laid across me, gone, black and blue, like she was just gone. Like I grabbed her face, tried to give her CPR, like, and I couldn't move because my legs were so swelled up, like 8 times their normal size. Like I was paralyzed from the waist down, like, and just waking up in that situation, like knowing what was going on and what was happening, like I didn't want to wake up, and I was going to try to do everything I could to save the situation, possibly save her. I army crawled down my girlfriend's parents' house hallway from the bathroom into the living room to get my phone to call 911. And when I called 911, I passed out. Like it was overwhelming. I was in so much pain. I woke up to them. I woke up to them coming in the back door, and they were taking me out to the ambulance. Briefly remember that, and I passed out. At that time, you guys, due to my addiction and everything, like previously, my family had restraining orders on me because they were my biggest enablers at the time. So for me to even attempt, I had to completely get cut off from everybody in my life that was around me that was helping me for me to even want to try to start getting clean. When I came to at the hospital, I seen my mom, my grandma, my brother, and my dad. And I immediately got nervous because to me, like, I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? Like, I'm thinking about the police and getting arrested immediately. And me and my brother, we don't have, since he's been young, I used to be like the best, most amazing big brother. But when drugs and everything came and hit, like, there's a big period of my daughter's life, my brother's life that, like, I was just ghost and not in it. Like, and I wish I could take it back for anything, but like, the time that I have now, I still have a chance to. But my brother asked everybody to leave the room, and he said, Kevin, I just want to tell you that I forgive you for everything that you've done in your life because you might not make it out of this surgery. And I looked at him like, what are you talking about? He was like, that's why they called us here. You're not going to make it out of this surgery. And I started crying to me like, Grandma, what's he talking about? Like, she was like, Kevin, you did it this time. Like, you're not going to make it. You did it this time. Like, and Margot's gone. Like, and I just so happened when he said that I had to hear the EMT said when we arrived on scene, there was one that was DOA and he was unresponsive. Like, and that's when it set into me that like, oh my God, all this fucking shit is really happening over a fucking night of going getting high. Because if any of y'all are like me sitting in this room, nobody thinks about that shit when you're out there fucking getting high or doing what you're doing. You don't ever fucking think it's gonna be me or it's gonna be you. Because it can be you. So I don't literally remember anything after that. Everything after that was told by my mom and my grandma. They said that I went out after that. They took me straight into surgery and they cut me open. Like I have scars up to the side of my hips. They cut both sides of my calves open, and when I was on the table, I died. Um, they hit me with the paddles, and my mom said the doctors were standing there looking around and looked at her and like they were about to call it, and whoop, my heart started beating again. They kept me on life support. Um, and the crazy situation is, and like some people will look at me crazy, but I can tell them conversations that they had when I was out. Like I remember having an outer body experience, like watching myself laying there in the bed, watching all these people that there was lines. My mom said, Kevin, there was lines of people in the fucking hospital corridor like it was some fucking show to come see you. Like they had to move my rooms because she was like, Kevin, there was a lot of people that were coming that would genuinely cared about you, but there was a lot of people that showed up to gawk. You know what I mean? Like they had to move me to a private room because like it became like a fucking show. And so when I was at Mercy, I remember waking up. And mind you, my birthday was November 16th. So they have pictures of me in the hospital bed, you know what I mean? Like on my birthday on life support. And I can't tell y'all how many birthdays and Christmases that I've spent in places like this, in prison, alone, on the streets. Um, anyways, I was at Mercy West, my kidneys had fully shut down. This doctor told me that I was going to have to be on dialysis the rest of my life. I had a port in my chest. I had to go. Anybody that gets dialysis still to this day, like, y'all are strong because that shit is where, along with them, they transferred me to Drake. Now, I got a buddy, I'm sure he'll see this. His name's Mike Maloney. He spent, and he can vouch for you guys and tell you, when they sent me from Mercy West to Drake, I have no idea why they sent me there. I went without pain medicine from being on the highest allotted amount of pain medicine a hospital's ever given anybody, that this doctor said in his 34 years of practice, to having nothing with my legs split wide open to Drake. And I went, I think it was 16 hours of them saying, oh, your meds haven't rolled over into the pharmacy or whatever. And I went there on third shift. So all night he sat in that room with me. Like I remember holding his hand, crying, screaming, saying, Mike, bro, please do something for me. Please help me. Like, and there was nothing that he could do to like help. Like he almost got in a like physical altercation with one of the nursing staffs over it. And when the doctor came in the morning, anytime they ever did my bandage changes or anything like that, I never would look at what they were doing. But when the doctor pulled back the thing that morning and she was like, my head went up and I looked down and seen my leg. The meat in my leg was deteriorating, black and blue, like just like dying. She got on the phone. She said, we're rushing this person down to UC. He needs to go straight into surgery. And that set in a role to me getting to UC. And thank God that one of my family members there was the head of anesthesiology at this time. Now I believe he has his own practice or whatnot. But when we got there, as soon as we got there, he came down and told my mom, like, we're going to take care of him. We're going to do everything we can to save his life. Because at that time, like, it was either I was going to live or I was going to die. That started a process of surgeries that I went into. It was like 12 or 13 surgeries, y'all, in a 15 to 16 day time period. I don't know if y'all have ever had back-to-back surgeries with anything, but the pain, the pain, I can still remember the pain to this day, the physical pain. And not only that, I was talking this about my brother the other night, Griffin. I woke up in the middle of one of the surgeries because my body got so used to the drugs that they were giving me to keep me out. Screaming, grabbing onto the nurse, saying, help me, help me, help me. And they had to, it was literally 30 seconds before I could remember them putting me back out. And it was the worst 30 seconds of my life. Like I would never forget the pain from it. And after that surgery, when I woke up from that surgery, I looked at the doctor and I said, if y'all don't fix what you're doing next time, there's no more surgeries. I'm done going through these surgeries. Like, after that next surgery, the doctor came into the room and he was like, Kevin, he's like, I don't know how else to tell you this, but you got about 3 days left to live, buddy. If your legs are killing you, and we'll make you as comfortable as possible, or you got to do the amputation. And at that time, with everything that I was going on and going through, like, and dealing with at that time, I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't have the fight in me. But the continuous love and family that was showing up, friends that continue to show up and stand by my bedside and pray. Like, I had people that showed up that my family had almost lost hope. Like, my mom was like, why are you praying over him? He's not going to make it. And I have friends that say, as long as he's got life in his body, we're going to pray over him. Because there was a point where the doctors had just told my family, like, don't expect him to make it. He's not going to make it. When the doctor came in, I asked everybody to get out of the room because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did a lot of meditating and praying. They came into the room. The only person I let into the room was the nurse, and that was the third hour when I was in pain, because I got pain medicine every 3 or 4 hours, and that's like literally the only thing I looked forward to in the hospital, was because like my body was just split wide open with drain bags coming out of it. I was more waiting for my family to show up, and my mom, my dad, my grandma, and I believe it was my Aunt Lynette that walked into the room that day. And my dad was the first person that got to speak and say something like that, broke the ice. He was like, Kevin, I couldn't imagine, especially at my age, that if I was going through what you was going through, like, I don't know if I'd want to do it. He's like, but I'm here to do whatever you want. This is your life. They asked my family when I was in my last surgery, can we just go ahead and take his legs off while we got him in here? They were like, no, we're not going to make that decision for him. My mom looked at me and she was like, Kevin, I couldn't imagine it either. She's like, whatever you want to do, like, I'll sit here these next days with you if you want to do that. And my grandma had heard her say that, and she looked and she was like, Kevin, she was like, it doesn't matter what anybody's saying. She was like, you're the strongest person that I've ever met in my life, and you're still here for a reason. And you're going to do the surgery and you're going to make it. I promise you're going to make it, because nobody's stronger than you. Why do you think you're still here? Like, and her saying that to me, like, oh my God, y'all, it rocked my heart, because my grandma is like, that's my best friend. Like, today, that's my best friend. But at that point in time and period, up to that point, like, I ran my family through hell, y'all. And I have the most amazing relationships with my family today, y'all, because I changed it, man. And that's something that if I could take back through all my addictions, I would spend time at home with my family and my daughter. Like, fuck all them fake friends that was laughing in my face all the time, that was trying to set me up, rob me, didn't want a damn thing for me, or was going to try to see me do better in life. Like, families, like, and I have family. And when I say family, it doesn't have to be blood, because there's people that I look at like family, like Kelly Joe and my girl, and like some of my brothers, like support that I'm getting from people on Facebook right now. Like, I got a lot of people in my life, y'all, that I call my family. Because I have some family that doesn't even still have nothing to do with me now today. Still to this day, after still what I'm doing with my life today, it's still some family. It's just some people that I don't expect to ever have a relationship with me, because some of the stuff that I've done personally to them, and I don't have nobody but myself to blame for it. But after that conversation, I looked at the doctor like, all right, let's go. They took me into surgery an hour later, and I remember one of my friends, she stuck her finger into the side of the bottom part of my calf muscle tissue, and she's like, I remember when I pushed my finger into it, it went all the way. Like, into your scar because it's like I wanted to make sure I got to touch your leg before they cut it off. And I came back from the surgery, and mind you, I still had all these other problems I'm gonna have to think about dealing with. I still had a liver that was never gonna work again the rest of my life. Or kidneys, sorry, my bad. My kidneys were never gonna work again the rest of my life. They were not fully functioning at all. I had a port in my chest on dialysis. A week, it was like maybe a week after the surgery of losing my legs, that I had came back from a dialysis, and it was actually the following day, and I remember sitting there, and this guy, this doctor that told me that I was going to be on dialysis the rest of my life, walked into the room looking like he had seen Jesus, or was like his face was like this when he was looking at me. He was like, I don't know how to medically explain this. I don't even know how to spiritually explain this because I'm a godly man. He said, but Kevin, your kidneys are fully functioning and you won't have to be on dialysis anymore. I kind of looked out the window like I am now and was like, I hear you. I hear you. Maybe I am still here for a reason. I went from there. Continually stuff got to get a little better, but mentally, I was still scarred and damaged. I went from there to Drake Hospital to learn how to do everything in a wheelchair. I was gonna wear my legs here for you guys today, but it's snowing and I ain't never walked in the snow or practiced walking in the snow, and I wasn't in such a great mood when I woke up either. Kelly came when literally I just rolled out of bed, wasn't even going to probably want to come here in a bad mood. And it took a lot of praying and music and conversations. And I talked to a few different buddies that, give me strength and inspiration myself, because day to day myself it's a struggle still. But I went to Drake to learn how to do everything in this wheelchair. There was a point in time when I went there, like, they had to fight with me just to get me out of bed to, like, even try to transfer into a wheelchair, because I was just so, like, the people that were around me at that time knew it. Like, as soon as fucking he gets the chance on the streets, like, he's gonna break for it. Like, one of my friends even said that too. Like, Kevin, I see it in you. Like, after everything that you've been through, bro, he's like, you're gonna go back out again, aren't you? And the whole time in the hospital, I'm like, nope, nope. Oh, I couldn't do it. And like a part of me at that time, like everything that I went through at that time was like, no, I couldn't imagine seeing myself ever picking up a drug again. But like I said at the beginning, you carry you everywhere. Once you have put any of these type of drugs into your body, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you go, or to me, how long you have. It's what you do and what you put into your life every day, positivity wise. What you do to fucking treat your disease and addiction. Because if you just leave it alone and you don't pay attention to it, I promise you it's there waiting. Because when it breaks free, I know me, every time it's got faster, worser, quicker, something new happens, some more extreme shit happens, like it gets bad. But I went from there to a nursing home. I was the youngest person in the nursing home, and it was shitty. And the nursing home I was at wasn't the greatest. And it's crazy because I have a buddy that's probably watching this right now that's sitting at that same nursing home, man. And I wish we could get him up out of there. It's hard, but so this nursing home, and it was crazy because my roommate, he didn't have his legs either. He was an old guy that was still struggling with his own problems and addiction, like stuck in this nursing home, hateful to the world too, that didn't have his legs. And I just remember being in the room all day like, God, I don't want that to be me. God, I don't want that. Please don't let that end up being me. But needless to say, after they weaned me off all the pain medicine I was on, because from leaving the hospital to Drake to the nursing home, like there was certain medicines that I was on, like from taking it IV to taking it mouth, that they had to change up because they weren't allowed to give it to me. Well, and immediately, as soon as I start feeling pain in my body and everything, all them feelings started coming back again of picturing everything I went through, and I could not get it out of my head, y'all. I obsessed about it every day. I blamed myself. I can't say that I wish I could go back and change that day, y'all. But who's to say and it's hard for me to swallow this pill, y'all, but who's to say that it wasn't God's plan for like it to happen, or me to think that like I could have had some type of control over it, or like took me a long, and I still battle with it a lot of times, man. Like that everything happens for a reason, or like, Kevin, you're still here for a reason, or like there was a point in time that like after the accident, and when I decided to go back out, because I eventually left the nursing home and I chose to go out into the streets like this. I remember 3 years ago, it might have been the fourth year ago, might have been that first year, being outside in the freezing cold, colder than it is right now with more snow on the ground, in my wheelchair, hovered up like this inside of my shirt, shooting myself up inside of my shirt, freezing on the street corner because I didn't want help. I wanted to die. I continued to live every day, putting drugs in my body to die. At that point on, it was no getting high for me. I was getting high every day to die. My mission every day was to get as much money as I could, get as much dope as I could, get a hotel, tell nobody that I was at, where I was going, put enough in me. Every morning I woke up crying. Every morning I woke up crying. Or I'd wake up in the back of an ambulance. The Cincinnati police, the ambulance people, and all them, they all probably know me by face. I've seen some of them before, like, hey, buddy, you don't remember who I am? I'll be out to eat somewhere at the store or something, like, nope. I'm like, oh, I was the guy that saved your life that night or that day or that street corner they found me on. Like, I remember when they found me one time, I was so freezing cold, blue hypothermia, almost like I shouldn't have been alive. And some guy seen me, called paramedics on me. They found me. I spent 45 days in the hospital from that point on. And there's another situation like that. God still has me here for some reason. And there was a point in time where, like I said, I'd meet people who'd be like, man, your story helps me, bro. Like, I'm staying clean just off your story alone, Kev. And I'd be like, see him or roll away, be like, great, my story don't help me. You know what I mean? But that's almost selfish for me to say, because there's a point in time where I wouldn't share this story with nobody because I don't know how it's going to affect me. Like, I could leave here and be like, man, fuck all these feelings I'm feeling right now because I'm an emotional person. Like, and I've told this story 3 other times in the past, like I am right now, 3 other times in the past year. And every time, like this whole next week, like I'll be reaching out to a lot of my brothers in my support system because I know me. I know me. And, but I know what people have told me and what I've been through and experienced, that if you put, while you're here, if you put the least amount of effort into your recovery and yourself and focusing on yourself, especially while you're here. Because when I was in these places, I never focused on myself. I did what I had to tell the counselors. I did whatever to impress people just so I could get on to the next place that I was going. I never fully sat when I was in this place and looked and realized at myself, like, what can you do, Kevin, while you're in this place so you don't have to come back to this place? When I got my act together, it was in my own home with my girl's help. Nobody else's help other than God. Like, it's different for everybody, though. Everybody has to reach a different type of low. And I could say there's been a million points in my life that I could have used as my rock bottoms, but it's different for everybody. And it doesn't, you don't have, if you haven't reached that, if you're here and you haven't lost a best friend or a loved one or somebody to this disease yet, you're blessed. If you still have family in your corner, y'all, you're blessed. Because I've been to the point where I didn't have nothing or nobody because of this disease. Right now, maybe this might be your first stop in the rehab, second stop in the rehab, third stop in the rehab. Maybe this might be your fourth, sixth, seventh time doing it. Man, please, y'all, make it your last time. Make it your last time, man. Because I wish I would have made it my last time so many times ago, y'all. So many times ago. Because it's a ripple effect. The more people that get clean, the less drugs there's going to be sold on the streets. The less drugs that are going to be able to sold. You think these drug dealers are going to keep going around still trying to sell something that they can't make money off of? Nah. They're probably going to be like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go get a job. And then it's going to change their life too. Like, it's a ripple effect, and it all starts with the people that are doing it, us. Like, and I don't think I'm better than anybody else. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and tell you that life's all hunky fucking dory. I'm on the brink of fucking being homeless and losing my house myself that I've been in for 3 years because another person didn't do what they were supposed to do and handle business to save the house. The house is paid off. It's just property taxes ain't been getting paid on it. And it wasn't my responsibility to do it. But here we are now stuck with the situation of trying to handle it. I thrive in these situations though. We thrived. We woke up every day doing whatever we could. Out hustling, out talking, out smarting, doing whatever you did to go get what you needed to get. By the end of the day, you was going to be happy with it. Why not put that same motivation and energy into different things and aspects in your life? Like 3 years from now, I got big dreams and goals of trying to go to the Paralympics and roll in this wheelchair faster than anybody's ever rolled it before. I got, y'all, like this, when I say that, like, it means the world to me, to like see people change or want to change or do something positive or different with their life. Like, this is a flex, y'all. Anybody that's watching this, you want to know what a real flex is? Changing something in your life, especially when all the odds are stacked against you. You might have people in your corner that'll be like, nah, that dude ain't gonna get clean. Nah, she ain't gonna get clean. She ain't gonna make it. Prove them wrong. You don't have to prove them wrong. Prove yourself. Fuck what I used to care about what people thought about so much. Like, I'd literally spend all day thinking about situations about that other people probably ain't even like, Kev, you're probably not that big of a deal. Like, why are you even thinking about it? Like, best advice that I can give is what I do every day. I have people from out of state that I haven't even met. People that write me, that have heard my story, or that like I talk to online that I've never met, that I have some closer relationships with than like some of the people that like are in the same city as me. I take time every day to go through my message list. I'll write everybody back if somebody's dealing with a problem, or if I know this certain person's going through something, I make it an extra point to try to send them something positive or something nice throughout the day to try to change, you know what I mean, what they're going through. Because you never know what the next person's going through. And you never know what your words or something that you can do for somebody, or just a kind gesture or words or throughout the day, even if it's somebody that you don't know, what your impact is going to have for somebody else. Um, I reach out to my sponsor or my support group every day. Um, I reach out to other people in the program. From the time that I wake up, I'm trying to read and instill, because me, like, I could wake up and be negative as hell. You can ask her. Some days be bad. Like, I'll just be the most negative person and just rolling around, walking around the house, mad at the world for no reason. But if I get on my phone, or if I talk to one of my guys or somebody in my support, or my grandma can change me out of my mood too. Sometimes you got to put positivity into yourself ahead of time to get through the day. Like, sometimes I take the days in an hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Just sometimes I can't even get through the next 60 seconds. I'll be sitting there like, come on, let's just make it through this next 10 seconds and this bad thought's going to go away. Because the thoughts are always there. Like, we're addicts, they're going to be there. But if you do things, like I said, to heal them thoughts, put positivity into them, I won't say they'll forever go away, but they become at the bottom of your worries and your thoughts. Remember, it's just a thought when you get that craving. It will pass. What you do when you have that craving or thought, or before you go pick up, because in that car ride with Margot, the whole time, my hand was on my phone, wanting to call one of my brothers so bad and be like, bro, something bad's about to happen. This is what I'm doing. Because when you get into situations like that, I know me. I'll tell on myself to my friends. When I'm having a bad day, I'll be like, bro, this is going on. I'm feeling flight rested. This is how I'm feeling. And I'll just sit there, because I know more than likely they're going to tell me something that's going to make me get out of myself. Because it's hard for me to get out of me sometimes. Like, I could do all the praying in the world, but sometimes, like, people just need loved on. People just need showed love. You know what I mean? Like, the more love that you show people and the more love that you put out into this world, the more love that there's going to be. Did I run over? Am I still good on my time? How old do you guys think I am? 32. Anybody else any guesses?
30. And you're 30.
I'm 37.
No, good for you.
37. Never thought this happened 5 years ago. I never thought at 33 I was going to lose my legs. And somebody that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, like, she's tattooed all over me. She knows all about her, and she's not jealous about her at all. It's part of my life. Like, you went to school with Margot? Yeah. If this ain't a sign, y'all, there's somebody here right now that went to school with Margot. Like, JB, if you ain't watching this, her dad makes, we call them Margot bags, and he takes them around the city to the people that fly signs, and it's got a bottle of water in it, a few different, like, protein bars, snacks, I believe something inspirational, and on the bag it has the bag number, and it says I love you on it. And he's actually had a few girls that the sober living house in Price Hill that he drops them off to. One of the girls came up to him one night, and if it wasn't her talking from up there, the girl came up to him and said, I didn't have nothing or nobody the other night, but I had this bag. And it was one of those Margot's bags, y'all. Like, that's powerful. He's almost made 2,000 bags. Like, just the time that he takes to make the bags, like, just something special. Like, and it's something that I do every day to try to make stories live on. I didn't want to get too much into all like focusing on like my ripping and running stories, but my best friends that I've lost over this, somebody from the sandbox, his name's Tony. I try to tell stories every day. Jason Newsom, he was one of my best friends when I lost my legs, like helped me try to help myself when I didn't want to help myself. Um, Person I went to grade school with, Tyler Hoinke. Um, I never thought he was gonna be gone, you guys. Like he was like my best friend, man.
How long
It
have
is
you been sober?
it's over a year now. Coming up a year next month. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. But it doesn't happen without putting in work, y'all. Like you gotta put in the work. You gotta tell on yourself. You gotta be not scared to ask for help. That was always my biggest thing. I couldn't ask nobody for help. I couldn't tell other people my problems. I couldn't look weak to somebody else. That just wasn't in me. That just wasn't how I was brought up. I was brought up to be tough, keep it on my shoulder, make it through it. You know what I mean? Don't show no weakness. Man, showing that weakness and being vulnerable with another human being, I promise you will save your life, man. And it will be you. It will be your phone that goes off.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Being vulnerable with somebody else is what's going to save y'all's life, man. Because I could never find it in myself to be vulnerable with somebody else until here this time recently. And like I said, it ain't everybody's path and journey is going to be different. It's what you it's what you do for yourself every day. You know what I mean? When you get out of here, take the first, even if you're in a relationship, if the person that you're in a relationship with can't respect, if you come to them and say, hey, when I get out of here, I need this next 30 days, 60 days to focus on myself to get me right so I can get us right. Because if both of y'all ain't focused on track, the whole ship's gonna crash. I've done it in so many relationships, you guys. Um, but if you only got yourself to worry about when you get out of here, you're one step ahead of the game, man. Focus on yourself when y'all get up out of here. While you're in here, focus on yourself. Be vulnerable with somebody else in here that you normally probably wouldn't think or catch yourself being vulnerable with. Share a story or something you're struggling with today, or it might be tomorrow or 2 days from now. Y'all might be sitting in here like, remember what dude shared about whatever, and you can share your personal struggle story, what you made it through, what you overcame with somebody else. You know what I mean? Where'd she go? I want to thank you guys for letting me come here. Thank you guys for listening, being attentive. Because I do pay attention to that stuff, man. And when somebody's up here, or if the next time you're in a room with somebody and they're sharing their story or something that they struggle with or about their life, give them the respect that you would want. You know what I mean? Because I've been in a lot of rooms and get to telling a story about something, or I've heard somebody else tell a story, and I'll get to looking, and people are all on their phones not paying attention, when you don't know, you might have just missed something that would have saved your life or inspired you to want to change your whole life around. But just don't forget, man, all it takes is one bad choice, one night, 1 minute, 1 second, and you ain't never going to get it back. Make the most of it, y'all. And I just appreciate y'all letting me come here to share. I really haven't been looking at this phone. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in and watched. It's real out here, y'all. If you have somebody that's suffering from addiction, reach out to them. Show them this. Try to get them in to a rehab. Because tomorrow is not promised, y'all. Thank you, guys.